Anyways.
Right, going to try and whittle the truth down again, and what the real truth is and where we really are. Right, I'm going to make this statement for myself. Right, I am now awake and aware of the fact that the claim that was put to me all through my life, that the earth was a globe, I have found no evidence or proof of that. Studying natural physics and understanding the ways of the world that we're living in, it cannot be a ball, and it never will be a ball. And that's exactly where we are, right? And that's where Marty is, and
Hello.
other people now that are starting to click onto this, right? There is no onus or burden for any of us to come forth trying to present models or defend models or make any claims whatsoever. I'm hearing people talking about the PSYOP, the flat earth's a PSYOP, right? There is a PSYOP going on, and that's what we've been trying to tell you, where the PSYOP is. Look at the content of these people. It's illogical for anybody to be claiming anything to do with maps, models, or religious ideas, or any of these things, right? Because it's pure and simple. We're awakening from a dream, and we do not know where we are, right? That's it. So the rest of it, when you understand that, and you know, right, as I say, go back again, I'm making that statement, I know that it's a lie, and I do not consent to being kept in the dark anymore about where I am. It's vitally important for me, for my foundations, for my grounding, to move forward, to know exactly where I am, and it's the same for everybody else. All these religious ideas, your philosophical ideas, the literature, the maps, the history books, all the stories that they've fed you cannot be taken as anything at all. It's just going to keep you going in circles. And the people who are continually doing it, that's the PSYOP part. There's some people who are unaware of what they're doing because their ego has taken over. They've got themselves into a position where they need to feel important and relevant and keep everybody, you know, entertaining and pumping videos and stuff like that. That's the PSYOP part. That and people bringing their emotions.
Oh, aye.
Right?
Definitely.
As I say, reiterate it again, none of us know where we are. Right? End of story. There's no point in trying. Look, understanding it is fine. You know, people want to track the sun or they want to do these things. That's fine. That's just not the point I'm at. Right? I'm not interested in what's going on up there. I'm interested in what's going on down here, where we are, where we're planted. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And to start in the foundations of that, we have to find the floor space and find where the dimensions go, whether it's walls, whatever it is. You need to find the foundation first before we start questioning anything else. Oh.
Always need a solid foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I picture it, it's like animals, right? If an animal's born in the zoo, does it know it's born in a zoo?
Yep.
But if you actually study animals to that extent, and see even ones that are born into captivity, still act differently.
Yep.
You know?
It's because there's a restriction put on their natural
Environment.
whatever.
Habitat.
I don't even actually need to speak about that again, about this natural and natural in nature.
Aye.
You know. Sorry, because I keep jumping back because all this stuff's on my mind. You know.
I know you, but I was
And,
just
and
like,
that analogy is great about the animal being kept, and then does it know? You know, it's not going to know. You know, it'll just try and make the best of what it's got
Right.
there in that
somebody
time.
comes every now and again, feeds it,
Yeah. Yeah.
yada yada, waters it,
Yeah.
shelters it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, if I'm keeping you as a hostage your whole life, you're not going to take anything that I filled you with through that time and try and make sense of it. You're just, we need to start again. I know it's scary for people, you know, because to say we don't know where we are,
I
you
think
know,
it's
it's
brilliant.
so do I. It's actually exciting.
Uh-huh.
You know, because all that pish they told you, it was all sewn up, and you knew it never made sense, but they seemed so certain in having it all they do.
Aye, and they would obviously just call you, you just
A
don't
loony.
understand.
You know? But no, now it's opened up, you know, and I'll say it again, we don't need religion, we don't need philosophy, we don't need any of these ideas at all. We can find out, you know, that's what all these religious ideas and the philosophies and all these things are there for, is to keep you still, look at them,
Stagnant.
right? And
Trapped.
now you're hearing it with people, you know, there's this constant argument, and like they're getting involved in new agey ideas where they're trying to figure out what it all means and how it relates and blah blah blah. No, you go, slow down, right? It's a fucking construct, right? It has definite dimensions to it, right? These people that say, oh, but we can't trust our senses and we might never know, tell me fuck off, right? When we find the dimensions of it, we know where we don't need any religious ideas. You don't guess when you know. Do you know what I mean? The only reason all these things is this is because people are in bewilderment and confusion. They don't. It's all based in no knowing where you are. When you know where you are, you don't need. People don't argue. When you go to the swimming baths, you know, you know you're in the swimming baths. You're not going to argue with me and say, oh, well, we're on the football park.
I know.
You know, I feel as if we're on this because, no, you know you're in the swimming pool.
You're
you know
right a side pitch with your trunks and goggles. People are going to be like, what the fuck is he doing here?
Right.
But that's what I was told.
You know, when you know where you are, there is no reason for guessing. Right. So that's the psyop. The psyop is to keep you guessing, adopting maps and trying to argue maps. You shouldn't be arguing anything because you're not bringing forth any claim. You're saying, you put this claim to me and I'm telling you it's a fucking lie. Right? That's it. After that, the only two options we have is full disclosure, which means we demand that they tell us where we really are and what's going on, and when they offer that, we go through it with a fine tooth comb and we analyse every aspect of it, you know, or full disclosure. Full disclosure or full exploration, and even when they give full disclosure, we're still going to need exploration to double check that that's the reality of what they're telling us. That's it.
Until we've got that, we know nothing.
This is what they don't want people getting to a point of, you know, just knowing that you're being lied to. You don't have to make a claim. And as we've said before, we try to point out how this argument works and how natural science works and how reason and logic works, you know, and people enter into ad hominems and all these logical fallacies. Just remove them altogether. This question of where are we is a question for natural science, which means you go outside and you observe and you look and we all test, right? No laboratories, no mathematical equations, no contrived conditions, just how it is and how we find it. You know, people call that the natural world or the natural order. That's why it's called natural science. Going back to what I said before, you know, what is natural? Because for me, it's so logical and simple. You understand you're in a construct, right? So that construct has to be somewhere, right? So there has to be a larger environment out with the construct, unless, of course, you're imagining that it's being projected in from some other dimension. Do you know what I mean? Now that's just, I just don't see that.
No.
We're no witnessing that here. You know, it is here. Matter is actually there. You know what I mean? So, and as I say, for me, every one of these ideas and all this about maps and stuff is to stop us from getting to this point where we unite against a lie and demand that we go and we find out. They're really scared of that, and there's a reason for that. I personally think it's because there's a way out of here.
If you're following somebody else's map or whatever, then by following you're being led.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
follow people all you want, all you're doing is being led.
We don't want to be led anywhere.
I know.
This is what I'm trying. You know what I mean? It's like, why?
No, what I was saying there is because if people are going to push maps and all the rest of it, then people will jump onto that.
Aye.
So the people that are jumping onto that are being led.
Aye. Because there's
Because they're
this,
following somebody
there's
else's
this
claim.
unwritten thing that happened where all of a sudden, you know, people are saying the Earth's not a globe, but that automatically means you're saying it's flat, and it means it's this map.
Aye.
And it's so clear to see because that, you know, you start talking to people and they go off.
Show me a picture of the ice
Aye,
wall.
they go off subject. They go off subject, and they start demanding that you answer these ridiculous questions. That's the psyop part of it.
Yes.
Where all that's building. And the psyop.
It's not
for
about
me-
what you can prove, it's about what you can disprove.
Aye.
That's basically that's your starting point. It's what you can disprove. You don't need to prove fuck all, because you're not putting forward anything. What you're doing is you're
That's
disproving
I
what's
use that,
already been
the
tipped.
Socratic method. I come with no preconceptions, no beliefs, no wishes, no hopes. So I just look at everything that anybody claims and I question all the claims that are put to me until I can strip it down and find the flaws within it.
Aye.
Because then I know once I found the flaws within it, I know it's crap. Do you know what I mean? So that's the psyop part, and where it's heading and where I feel it's heading is like this. There's this whole thing being building, you know, this whole, there's an enemy and there's a saviour, right? And that's the way it was before, and they had everybody under the religious control before. You can see them building that. There's this evil, and there's a God, you know, and even in the flat earth things, you see it everywhere. They've been hiding God, they've been trying to hide God, and to me I feel as if this is what they're going to try and achieve with it. Something like, we've faced the great evil and we're out in it. And there'll be trials and people will be seemingly brought to justice, and that it's a lie that we live in a globe, but no, what the truth is that we're under God's kingdom and we need to unite in one religion. You know, there is no religion because, you know, we know we're under God's dome or whatever the fuck it is. You know, but they need to play out the baddie. You know, there is no fucking good and baddie. We keep saying it before, there's only you. If you don't understand that, we can take it through to you logically, we can take you down every avenue. You know, nobody makes you believe anything.
Nope.
Nobody makes you feel anything, nobody, it's all your attachments.
You are sold nothing in this world.
Exactly.
You fucking buy it.
You buy it, that's it. And we've been trying to point these out, maybe it's just long-winded videos and people aren't really getting it, but it's all
At the end
there.
of the day, we're just finding out for ourselves, just sort of by talking about it. We've been able to talk without the vitriol or the judgment or that you're just a fucking loony. Being able to do that, that's how we can progress. So that's how it probably does sound long-winded, because we're still going through the maze ourselves.
When we're talking out loud, we're reaffirming things to ourselves and looking at what we're actually saying, you know.
Because we could all sit and play with our thoughts all day or every day, but then that creates nothing.
And that's where, as I keep saying to people, the psyop is, they want you to sit and ponder and thought. But fuck pondering and sitting still, it's time to just go and look.
With the wee effigy at the back of there, let's all just sit with our legs crossed and giving it alms.
Aye, the new age crap. That's what I'm saying to people about, they keep coming up with these ideas about trying to justify this place that we're here to learn, or it's God's kingdom and it's blah blah blah. What if it's no, it doesn't seem like that to me. And see, your God, if you want to believe in a God, the only God I'm going to respect is a God who wants equals, right? No a God that fucking wants to rule over people. And if your God, think about this, maybe your God's waiting for you outside this fucking, this structure, you know? Maybe that's the game, he's waiting for you to figure out how you find your way out of here. No accepting this place.
Just the wee thought going through my head, and they're going to play a different version of the Bible. Maybe there was, so to speak, a God thing that created everything, we're living in infinite, right?
Yep.
But then this other guy came across, we'll call him Satan, right? Oh, see, you're not doing that, right, God? What, do you think you could do better? Aye, I could do better. I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll section off this wee bit of infinity for you. You go and play in your wee fucking toy box, and we'll see where you're at in a couple of thousand years, okay? Okay. I'm just, you know, that's what the thoughts can take.
Aye, you know, you can go into any philosophy.
I know.
For me, logically, this has been going a lot longer than, as I say, people are stuck in this finite thing. You know, you're part of eternity. To me, this place, the body, everything you see are forms of technology. That's what they are.
No, as soon as you say words like technology, the first thing going through people's heads, circuit boards and shit like that. That's, I mean, technology's anything. The first person that invented a hammer, that was a technological advancement. A hammer? What the fuck's that?
I mean, everything's emanating from mind or consciousness. You know, whatever these minds are, whatever our minds are, you know, it's and I keep hearing this, well, we're all one, you know, we're all, you know, maybe we're all one, we'll get certain things in common, but there's certain minds who just think and are a certain way, and there's other minds that just think and are another certain way, you know. It's all this ideology, and again, I'll just keep going back to it, you don't know where you are, right? So anything that you tell yourself about you, about your views on the world, your opinions, your ideals, your beliefs, are all flawed for the start, because you don't know where you are. Unless you've got the whole thing mapped out, you know? So, well, you see a lot
simple wee analogy like, imagine somebody says, we're going to play Monopoly, but there's no rules and nobody's ever played it before, we don't know how it actually works, but we're going to play it anyway. Right. You would fathom a certain system to make it look as if it was working, but were you actually playing it the right way?
Well, that's what I say. People, you know, people are playing Monopoly on a chessboard for all they know. You know. And
Well,
there's nothing.
what was it we used to always say? We've arrived on a Monopoly board, we've got Cluedo pieces and we're
Right.
fucked, you know.
And
There
these
was the other one I used to say all the time is when I used to get right frustrated. I'd be like, I feel as if I'm a natural being, but I'm stuck in an unnatural environment, and I shouldn't fucking
Because it
be
is,
here.
and you're spot on. That's what I keep saying to people. They keep talking about natural. And I go, it's a construct. Right, so how is it natural? Where are you getting this idea of natural for? Fair enough, as I used the analogy before, if you found yourself in the inside of a sealed car engine, you would look at it and think it had a natural order to it, but the reality is that it's a construct. There's a larger environment beyond it. So what is this whole natural talk? This isn't the natural world. This is the unnatural state.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye. And that's what I say, that's what used to fuck in my head. But man, this isn't fucking right, man.
And look at their predictive programming all through the year. You know, nature, Mother Nature. It's, you know, it's all great. You know, you need to value it. You need to blah blah blah. All these ideas to make you think this is it. And I even hear these flat earthers saying, "Oh, it's the only place in existence," and blah blah. All these bewilderment ideas, keeping people still. Ooh, what's going on? What's going on? Anything to stop you from going. Let's just go and figure it out. You know what I mean?
So recently I want to go and watch the Truman Show again and find out which direction he actually headed in.
Aye.
You know?
I mean, there was a lot in that movie. You know?
Oh, too much.
In that whole bit where he gets to the side and he hits the fucking sides and he gets through the door. I mean, to me that's what's really going on here. You know, I strongly feel that. You know, logically, when you break it all down and you look at it, that's what they're trying to stop us from achieving. Now, if it was just a sealed, you know, totally sealed unit, and there was no inlets, outlets, or anything like that, they wouldn't need to lie. You know, they could just tell you that you're in a sealed place, but they're still in control anyway. You know, obviously there's a psychological disempowering aspect of confusing people and taking away, you know, you make people think that life's no get any design or meaning to it, then obviously they're going to, psychologically they're going to be disempowered. But realistically,
you're an insignificant fucking fifth generation retarded fucking squirrel frog monkey.
the only reason I would want to tell my slaves or whatever that they were in a limited place is because I would be scared of them finding the gate out. I would be scared of them escaping.
You ever seen the series Roots, when it was about slavery in America in the 18th century?
No.
See, when I watched it not long, a couple of years ago I watched it again because I was brought up and it was really took first when I was growing up and I was like, alright, I watched it again not long ago and see when I looked at it, I didn't see like, slavery in the 18th century. I seen them talking about where we actually are.
Yeah.
You know? It's an amazing series. Certain things, certain aspects that they come out with, which is one of the classics, was near the end of the series when obviously the Civil War in America was allegedly for to free slaves and all the rest of it. And you've got all the rulers as such, the guys that owned all the big cotton farms and all that, and saying, well, what are we going to do with them now? And he's like, sorted. He's like, how? He's like, because they think they're free. Right? He's like, aye. But what we're doing is what they did is we'll give them a wee bit of your land, just a wee bit, and they can say, right, you have that wee bit of land, but you've got to work your land.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the season, we charge them rental for the house, rental for the land they've got, rental for the tools, the food, the clothes. So in the end up, they're still going to be permanently in debt to us.
Yeah.
Because if they make $1,000 out of their land, but we need to charge them $1,100 a year for the rental of the food, clothes and everything else, as well as using their labourers to work our land.
Yep.
And there was one part in it when two slaves were talking, and one of them was like, who's your master? He's like, I don't have a master. He's like, what? He's like, I bought myself. And that line sticks with me, because is that your only way out of this fucking system? Do you need to buy your way out? But then again,
Nah.
it's just, and I'm playing.
There's two things I see happening here. There's the actual physical
Yeah,
realm.
you know, I just like to play
There's
with
a
these
physical realm where I think we can actually leave physically and we're
Aye.
being manipulated to stay. But there's also the mind aspect as well, where people are getting themselves caught up in the prison of the mind. And the reason that you're getting caught up in the prison of the mind is because you're adopting beliefs, right? Beliefs are substitutes. Beliefs are like trying to ram a square into a circle, right? Now you might jam it in there, in your mind, but it doesn't sit right and it doesn't fit, and it's just going to cause problems within you because it's no syncopated. It doesn't fit into that slot, right? Because we shouldn't have beliefs. This is the problem. When you have beliefs, you're substituting because you don't know, right? And that's what I keep saying about this whole where are we thing. People are just jumping on beliefs and adopting them. You need to be standing in real truth. You don't know.
Yeah.
And it's no your responsibility to try and prove it. You're never going to prove it. Sitting in your shed
If
or
you
sitting
feel
in
your
your house.
responsibility to try and prove it, you're actually showing your own insecurities.
Aye.
You know.
Because that's telling me you don't really want it to. You don't really want to admit that you don't know. You know? That's what's holding it back. That's where all the distractions and the problems are coming from. That's why people are getting frustrated and emotional, because people are still having to work through religious beliefs and ideas and hopes that they have. You know, because people are getting into this scary state, and that what they do naturally is they look for a saviour. And they're still holding on to this hope that the sky's going to open up and a big mystical, magical God's going to come down and wipe it all better for you.
X-Men or something.
As I say, if there is a God like that, he's never going to do that, because I wouldn't want him to do that. I'd only respect him if he wants an equal, or she wants an equal.
I mean, the whole religious thing's a fucking separate entity.
But
in
they're still
itself.
hanging on to it. And just trying to make sense of it. I hear people thinking they're doing God's work and God's talking to me, and I'm you know, it's
Well, if
God.
it's such an omnipotent being, why would you need somebody else to do his work?
Aye.
Why would they give you free will but say you have to use it to worship him?
And create animals to live in suffering, and other animals to hunt them, and you know, and this whole thing that you think you're calling nature and it's beautiful, it's a fucking horrific state of affairs. It's horrible.
It's almost like PR.
If
Look
you
at the cute cuddly lion as it rips the throat of the
Aye.
gazelle.
If you think it's beautiful and wonderful, then, as I said before, you've got fuck all to moan about. Just rejoice in it. You be a predator and get preyed upon and prey on others, and stop fucking whining and moaning about it. I don't want any part of it. Doesn't work for me.
Or me.
There's nothing to justify it. Not same with Marty. There's nothing, any philosophy, idea, or anything you can bring to me to justify that this omnipotent all oneness or whatever the fuck it is knows what it's up to. Distractions. You know, what if you're an eternal being and you've been missold a fucking holiday destination, or brought in with some trap using a technology like the body encases you, you know, and you try to find your way out of it? That could be the fucking reality. Equality is more acceptable to me. Mind being equal, right? That's it. Well, the only reason these things or these people appear to have more power than you is because you're living in ignorance and you keep trying to adopt beliefs and this clever attitude of you can work out and you can figure it out. Fucking stop it. You know nothing.
And even as you say that as well, even though these people think they're clever because they're repeating what they believe somebody that they think is clever has
Aye.
said. So they think they're taking on that same persona by repeating.
Or they get some correlation with the Bible to, you know, then all of a sudden, oh, it's because it's God and God knows what he's up to. You know, that's fucking shite. The Bible, it's been ways and it's been involved in the dream state for all this time. If it anything that was really going to free you in there, it wouldn't be fucking there. No. As I say, if you're all omnipotent being God is true, he's got fucking some serious fucking answers, that questions that I need to ask him. You know, you better have some justification for this shithole. As I say, it only works for me about being empowered as a being, and these ideas are disempowering psychologically, because I don't want to be subject to some hierarchy. I want equality. I want to be just be at peace knowing that people are in balance and know that they're equal with each other. Obviously that doesn't happen here, because that's what this place, this realm's about. You know what I mean? This isn't a place I would create or willingly come to.
No.
You know, I feel as if this is a technology, you know, and it's the only logical thing you can come to. Everything's coming from mind, so it's designed, it's intended. I'm a person as well, but when I say I don't want a God, I'm in a place of uncertainty and anxiousness, frustration, wee bits of fear, because I'm just the same as everybody else, and so is Marty. You know, you're contemplating this whole this thing that you call life, and you've always been questioning it, and then you realise that the huge line, the implications of what that means, that you know that there's a larger thing happening here, and it can be frightening. And I think a lot of people are actually scared to actually face up to it.
Let go with the lies.
There's a larger reality going on here. No, this this is a wonderful world. It's but starting to see people now who are cottoning on, that are getting fed up, you know, that are realising like all this talk about maps, models and debates and arguments, it's just all nonsense, and that's what we've been hoping to see.
It's one of the first things we mentioned in the very first video.
I've been saying it. I
We
mean,
were saying about, you know, people coming to a globe and below for stories,
Aye.
and the same goes for people trying to promote some sort of flat thing.
and his mindfulness put his video, and I'll just say thanks for that video. You know, the quotes for back then saying the exact same thing. You know, we're under the obligation to put forth any models. You know,
Although we might talk about saying, well, it theoretically could be an enclosed system, that's just based on observation and natural science. We're not saying, we're not claiming that is what it is.
no, just trying to reverse engineer and look at things logically and how, you know, because if we understand things in a micro level, then there's no reason for you to think on a macro level it's going to be any different. You know? So in this place here, I construct something, right? There's a construction there, but it's part of a larger environment. I could put things inside that construction that would never know. You know what I mean? So in the bigger macro, this is a construction, so therefore there must be a bigger environment beyond that construction. I mean, it just follows logically that that's what's going on, unless of course it says it's magically coming from when you get to the edge it just disappears into another dimension. Like a hazy, cloudy, fucking
Fogginess.
Hollywood image.
And you watch the Starship Enterprise fly through it.
We've been sitting waiting for people to come to this place of logic, reasoning and understanding. We're not anything special. We just knew and we know that we need people singing. We're all individuals. This isn't about being all the same. No, we needed the common goal, the common purpose, right? And that common purpose is, where are we? You know? And you need everybody at a critical stage of thought that's uniting, and their content isn't involving any speculation or fanciful religious ideas or any of these stuff, because it's got nothing to do with the question of where are we.
It's
right?
Basically, it's like trying to get folks just to wipe the fucking blackboard clean, so
Exactly.
you can get that starting point. Once people get to there, that's what I'm talking about when we say numbers.
Yeah.
You know, you need a certain number to get to that point.
Yeah.
A number of individuals.
Yep.
Because then you're going to get so many different perspectives, because you've got nothing to start off with,
Aye.
nothing to base it against,
Aye.
because you know everything you've been told previous to that is bullshit.
Yep.
You know, and that's how you get your foundation. And from there you can build up.
You don't sit and debate in one room about the dimensions of the full house. You know what I mean? You just go and you find out.
Aye.
But you need competent, clear thinking individuals to go about achieving
Yeah,
that.
and then once you've went round about the house and you've discovered, then people can sit and discuss it.
That's
There's
it.
nothing to debate.
Aye, there's no debate. It's a discussion. You know? So, and as we says before, that's why I was saying about, I don't need to attack personalities, I don't need to slander or name call or anything. All I need to do is look at their content to understand who's either stupid or who's playing a game that has an agenda, right? Because it's very, very simple. That claim that was made to us is crap. Next step, we don't know where we are. What we're going to do, we need to find out. How we're going to achieve that, we need to explore. Full exploration. Unless we get full disclosure.
Even full disclosures.
Yeah,
still
that's it.
hearsay.
Yeah, full disclosure's still going to have to be assessed and looked at and investigated to see if it matches up to what they're telling you. Yeah. Don't listen to these people talking about flights and the sun and the moon. Honestly, they're talking absolute fucking shit. Find the floor surface, then the walls, and then we'll work up to the sky.
Find out if there is boundaries.
I've not got wings.
Aye.
If I had wings, I fear do's.
And if there is a barrier, then as you're saying, you climb the barrier.
Exactly. And you just keep pushing forward and you map everything until you've got everything, you know?
Can't mind who it was that says this. It's like a wee quote thing. And he says, talking about animals, he's like, if you trap an animal, but its environment's too small for it, it'll no act natural in any way, shape or form. It'll no mate, it'll no eat, it'll no do, it'll just sit in a corner and die.
Yeah.
But you can create a bigger environment for it,
Yeah.
where it will still live naturally. And if it gets to its boundaries, it'll just turn about and go the other direction. Now you can take that to the extent of like your safari parks here in Africa and such like, which are thousands upon thousands of miles squared.
Yeah.
But when the animals get to the end, they'll just turn about and go back.
Yeah.
But this guy put it, he was going through all that and then turned and says, but the human being's completely different.
Yep.
You can try and trap a human being, and you can put him in the biggest space possible, but see, as soon as he finds an edge, a border, a boundary,
Yeah.
a wall, a fence, the first thing he's going to do is climb it.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to get back to.
Aye. And that's what they know. They know that they need to try and contain us by telling us it's either a globe where there's no way off, there's nothing else beyond it, or you're in some sort of totally sealed environment with no inlets and outlets. That's going to be their hopes. That's going to be where they push it to. No, that's where the PSYOP will lead. Because as I said before, they're not just going to relinquish control. They know they're at a point where people are going to start finding out, so they're going to try and take it to whatever place they want to take it to.
Mm-hmm.
No.
As they've always done.
Or maybe no, maybe this is just God's lesson and we're all going to be awoken by God in a dream. I'm not going to sit about waiting for that. You know, I've seen Quasi-Luminous guy now, I mean, he's even saying it, there's a way out. You know, that's the whole game. The whole game is to find a way out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which is great. Because people are realising, and I've even heard him saying it as well, you know, ditch everything that they
Right.
told you. Simple. People are too egotistical.
You've seen it. I mean, I'm talking there years, there, decades even. See, if you turn around and say to somebody, you don't know, what's their instant reaction? What do you mean I don't know?
Aye.
You know?
Mhm.
Fuck's sake.
Because we've been fed this intellectual,
They've been
pseudo-intellectualism.
to school
Aye.
and they've got letters after words,
Aye.
physics,
And all that stuff, as I say, is trying to ram a square into a circle.
Mhm.
Because it's no your experience. It's not your first-hand experience. All that stuff is fucking meaningless crap. It's like viruses in the computer. You know, if you're adopting these and you're putting them into your system, they're just going to cause you fucking problems. You know? It's so simple. That's your natural thing, is to explore and to find things out. Look at children. They just mess with stuff until they break it.
Yeah.
And then they figure out how to put it back together, and then they ditch it and they move on, and you know, and that's it. Whereas we're being contained and restricted, bottleneck to stop that natural thing from happening. You know. It's the foundations. They know that psychologically, physically, everything. Your whole being, without foundation, without knowing where you are, it's all pointless.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't know where you are, I know I don't know where I am. You know, and everybody else that's involved in this right now doesn't know where they are. So when they start spewing spiritual stuff and having world views and meanings about what it's all about, I instantly just shut off, because they've lost it.
Mm-hmm.
They're clinging on to some ego or some desire or belief, whatever it is. And it's hard for them because, as I said, it's as if they need to keep entertaining people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and saying their loyalties to their subs and their blah, and you go, no, your loyalties not to your sub, your loyalties to the fucking truth. Now, if that means that making your videos is only fucking 5 minutes and you're just constantly repeating, that's where your loyalty should be, to the truth, to the message. Fuck fucking subscribers. You don't know who these fucking subscribers are. That's ego. You've sold it. Lost the plot.
Mm.
As I say, people keep thinking you're trying to take something away from them,
Yeah.
and you're not. I'm
Well,
constantly
in a
trying to.
roundabout way, aye, we're trying to take the wrong questions away from them.
Aye, their beliefs.
Aye, because mind, where you were for a few years, the 3 questions I came up with, I was like where, who and why. But I had them in the wrong order.
Yep.
Because to find out who I was,
Yep.
I'd already made a claim and based that on, I was living in a spinning ball.
Yep.
To find out why I was based on the who I was, This was based on the where I was, but I was never looking at where I was because I just accepted that as 100%.
As I
And
say,
it's news,
aye.
as you say, funny note, you need your foundation, so let's
That's
start
the
from there.
base.
It's getting the right
That's the
questions.
base, aye. You need that in order to get
You'll
any
never
kind
find
of
out who
bearing.
you are
No.
or why you
No.
are until you know who
No.
you are.
That's it.
That was one of your big epiphany moments, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, it's so obvious, you know.
Aye.
Take it down to a smaller scale and do a thought experiment with, you know, if you found yourself in that scenario. You know, if I woke you up and you didn't no memory of who you were, you had no idea of what it was about, you were totally blank and disorientated, the first thing you're going to do is start clambering about finding exactly where you are.
Aye. Well, and again, I see the state of the populace, we don't just sit in a corner waiting to be on at something.
Because the populace have got it all figured out. It's just as you say, you know, they know who they are or think they know who they are, and it's all based on this idea that you live in a fucking globe.
Well, for 60% of the populace, or at least I would say, they think who they are is their vocation. Hi, I'm Dave, I'm a fireman. I'm Peter, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm Martin.
And they've got this, people have got this value that they keep trying to cling to, this having a valuable thing to it. You know, their body's precious, their time here's precious, this is precious, that's precious. To me, that is you buying into the whole illusion.
Yeah.
Right? I keep hearing these people who talk about the mark of the beast, you know, they want you to get this chip and that's the mark of the beast and blah blah, and I keep, what I've been saying to people recently is, no, I feel as if you've already taken the mark of the beast. You're in it.
Yes.
This is the mark of the beast. It already has you. So for me, that means I want to escape it. I want to find my way out of here. Don't want any part of it. All reason of any part of this, as we've spoken about before, remove all predation and suffering.
Even go back to the religious aspect, you know, yourself in the old Genesis book, when God created everything and all the animals and all, they all fed from the meat of the trees.
Yep.
And then suddenly it all flipped.
Yep. Slaughter
You know,
that and give me that.
Slaughter that because that's the God, the one that the God wanted. I'm not sure if it was Cain or Abel. One was a farmer, and one was looked after animals, and one done the vegetable scenarios, and they gave their sacrifices, and the God was more impressed with the animal getting sacrificed than he was with cutting fucking lettuce. You know? But anyway, that's just contradictions in the religious. Fuck.
And you can play with the philosophical ideas and books and stuff and look for evidence round about you, and you know, was there an infiltration here? Is that what the great rift or the whatever that thing is they call in the sky, you know? There's all sorts of ideas, but I'm not interested in fucking pondering and philosophising anyway. I just want to go and find out. That's where the frustration is for me. Nothing's moving forward
Yep.
for me at all, because as I say, how can I get myself involved in anything when I don't even know where I'm? Oh, but you should just, you know, spend time with your family, and you should just, you hear people saying this, don't spend too much time in this flat earth thing, because you don't tell people what they should and shouldn't do, or you know what I mean. These ideas again are
Unless
based
they've actually got the instruction manual.
the full dimensions of the place, and you know exactly what it's about. Then you fair dues, you can maybe say to people here, you know, this is what you do with your time. But I'm not interested in anybody saying any of that stuff, because you can not say any of that until we know where we are. And that's the bit I think it's people are struggling to grasp. Just not getting that, you know.
Too emotionally attached.
And you go into like the debating scene and the way these intellectuals and stuff go about their business, you know, talking about logical fallacies, and you know that's what they're going to, you know, so you understand that stuff and understand that language and use it against them.
Don't use it to manipulate others, just use it against
use
them.
it against their claim,
Yeah.
their argument. You know, you always ask people, hang on a minute, I'm not coming forward with any claims. You know, I was born into this claim that I lived in a globe, and if somebody's in front of you, you're going to say to them, you know, I was born into that claim, so were you. Do you believe that claim to be true? And do you claim that true? And if they say yes, you go, well, the burden's new on you, can you please prove it? Yeah. And they can't prove it, 'cause it's not real.
It's quite good when they try and prove it and they start repeating all their school stuff and things like that. And you're like, no, that's just repetition. What can you do to prove it?
And the same happens when you date to religious people, and you start logically questioning their belief in whatever faith they've got, and they do the same, and they start gish galloping and avoiding and using logical fallacies to try and avoid the fact that it might be wrong. You know, and it's
Or
the
they
same
try
to
and use
God.
1 point out of 1,000 that they think they can
Aye.
prove.
Yep.
But the other 999, they just have to follow because
Aye.
I can prove that one.
That's it. And
Can you
that's-
prove the other 999?
And it's
But
the-
because I can prove that one, they all follow.
And it's the exact same pattern as the globe. That's how you know it's a religion. So, aye. But as I say, I'm seeing people who are getting fed up now and that are starting to come round to that, so it's good.
Hmm?
It's good.
It's kind of folk.
It's
You want
just,
to go
having
the other
that,
way.
it's just having that strength to say, I don't know where I am. And the ability to figure out that the only way you're going to know is by having the full exploration. And that's my mantra: full exploration or full disclosure. Nothing else. Settle for nothing else.
I mean, why do it's just in a different way. Like, why do folk find credibility in certain folks so they suddenly believe everything that somebody says? What gives somebody credibility and things like that? I mean, that's what I don't grasp either. Well, that guy's got a white coat and a stethoscope, so you've got to trust him. Yeah.
People are getting credibility because their videos are produced well.
No, just I'm talking about in
Or
general.
nice music, or
You know, like, why do folk want to believe, like, or the doctor says so? You know, that kind of scenario.
Aye.
Why do people need that, and what gives that person status in the first place? Everybody.
it's insecurity.
Uh,
You know what I mean? Disempowerment, where you're constantly looking at external sources for everything.
mhm.
You know, and the more you invest your belief in that, then the more power it has.
Aye.
Which we've spoken about that with the placebo as well.
Aye.
People's will have got the ability to transform themselves within. There's absolutely no fucking evidence or proof that somebody's will can magically transform your life by thought. Do you know what I mean? It's just the new age crap. So, no pondering, no religious ideas, no philosophical ideas, no guessing at all. Needs to be ditched. You know who the players are. If you understand what we've just said, you know where the psyop party it lies. If you're standing in truth and total honesty, you're not going to be psyoped into anything. Marty's the government, makes a claim, prove it.
Don't know, I'm the government.
And I don't want your talk. When I say prove it, I want to see it, touch it, take. Do you know what I mean?
Take him away.
Exactly. Exactly. So, any
I'm
other
just
thoughts?
thinking there that, see all these folk that are going about the spiritualism, it's a form of escapism, you know?
Because they don't know we're there.
Aye. I know, I'm just,
No, I know, I'm just saying it out loud.
because that's what it is, it's just an escapism for them. Rather than dealing with reality. Oh no, I'll jump onto that, I'll jump onto that. Yeah, well,
You know. So repetitive, isn't
but
it?
even that word, what are they escaping for?
No, it's-
They feel
it's-
obliged to escape for something.
It's because I think it's because people are insecure and people want to feel that everything's going to be okay, and I understand that. I want to feel that warmth and that everything's
But
alright.
then again, the only reason that people are wanting that is because they're too, whether they're aware of it or no, they're obviously sick of the living in fear.
Yeah.
They want to feel that safe. But then again, look at all the propaganda going about. You've had it in the news for the past 16 years anyway. You know, fear, terrorism, it's all that nonsense. People are getting programmed into that state because they're not aware enough of themselves. So they just accept it. Oh shit, man.
And acting on emotional impulse all the
Aye.
time.
And because the main emotion that's getting pummeled at them is fear, then they're never going to feel that warm, secure, so to speak. So they're always going to be looking for their hero to save them. As you say, it's repetitive
Yeah.
circles. How do we fucking break the circle?
No. No. As I say, over the last few days I've got a wee bit of hope with
Mhm.
seeing other people talking like that now. And
Realising if you're wanting to discuss something, you need to start from what you know.
Yeah.
And what you know is nothing. I mean, it's like, so a brain surgeon walks into my shed and wants to talk about it. We're going to sit there and go like that. No, you're not. You're talking shite.
Aye, that's
You
it.
know, you're like that. Well, hang on now. This guy's the experience.
Aye, you give him his place.
Aye.
I've said that before. You know, I can talk on a kind of known level about a certain subject, but I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't start talking to somebody as if I'd say, listen, I only know a wee bit. Go and talk to him
Yeah.
because he
As
knows.
you know yourself, what I've done for years. People at times will be like that. Fuck's sake, Martin, you're off the quiet of the night. I'm not saying much on this level. I've got no experience in what you're talking about, so why would I
Aye.
put anything towards
That's
it?
it.
You know? But just, what's your opinion?
Opinions mean shit.
Aye. Opinions mean nothing unless you've got experience, you know? But everybody's entitled to an opinion, that's another fucking
Aye.
what a pish. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, right? I've got an opinion on brain surgery. Use a fucking machete next time.
Aye.
There you go, there's my. I don't care, I'm entitled to my opinion. And you've all better respect it and listen to it, although it's based in nonsense and hearsay and bullshit.
Egotistical crap.
Mm.
Who want to dominate over other people and seem intelligent. It's just this all fucking nonsense, annoying behaviour for the quagmire that's going on here. You know, it's fucking. So anyway, I think that's about it.
Aye.
You know, it's just repeating the same thing, and that it's good to see people coming to this place, you know, and not to be scared that we don't know, because we don't know.
Start from scratch. It's like you can do, because as soon as you bring one thing here, that's fucked.
And now every day's about trying to distract your attention. Well, it's the waiting game. You know,
Mhm.
because I'm in a position where I've not got the
Resources.
resources to go exploring wherever I like. You know, the fact of the matter is that I'm kind of depending on numbers here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's just a sad fact of the matter. I'd love to just be independent and go, by the way, I figured this out and now I'm going to go and, you know,
Live in a tree.
if I knew for a fact that was the way out, I would just go.
Uh-huh.
You know, I wouldn't be waiting for everybody else to wake up.
I
But
wouldn't follow somebody else's exit signs.
as I say, the
Where's
fact
that take you to?
of the matter is that we're never going to get anywhere until individuals come together to sing that one song
Aye.
as a choir. You
Well,
know,
look
and
how
then it'll
far
be heard.
me and you have progressed just between the two of us, just
Yeah.
talking about things.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, if people are getting that level of, they don't need to bring it, well, they better not bring anything they can't prove to a discussion.
That's it.
And that's how you move forward.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we were for a while, as you know, a couple of years ago especially, we were sitting stagnant, there was nothing happening, because we were, especially myself, I was asking the wrong questions.
Because we didn't know at that time. You know, we were still
Yeah.
blinded to.
Living in a
Aye,
spinning
we
ball,
went into
but
your-
insignificant.
We went into all the avenues of the fucking truth movement, spirituality, religion. You know, trying to figure stuff out, knowing that stuff made sense, but it just never ever sat right.
Mm-hmm. And it's brilliant. It's actually great to be done that, because that's when you actually start to see it, how it operates for that
Yeah.
side as well. And you're like, it's the exact same fucking structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Going to decorate my house. Oh, yeah, what are you doing? Painting my front door. Oh, wow, that's great. The whole house done, aye. We've just changed the colour of the gate.
I know. I know. You're right, it's just the same patterns that keeps happening, you know, and people are so blind to their patterns, and I think a lot of people can't see when their ego has taken over, you know, and their internal emotions are justifying what they're now putting out there. All this spirituality stuff about us being a collective, but that's fine, but it's not
We're
about,
all individual drips,
it's
but
not
when we're
about
all
us-
together, we're an
aye.
ocean.
Aye. But it's not about us uniting in some lovey-dovey thing. It's like we're all individuals, you know. But we all need to know that we need the foundations in order for us to know where we are and make sense of anything. So we all need to be singing that same song. Huh? Anything else?
Nah.
Cool.
Yeah, finished with that.